Hello, this is Shadowcat here, and I'm here to present you my Braixen beginner's guide on how to play the character. I've been using Braixen for a very long time now. Actually, it's been around 5 or 6 years, so ever since launching the game back in the Wii U. So I figure after 6 years or 5 years, which is way too long, I know, to present you my own beginner's guide. And ever since Players Cup 1, 3, and 4 and more online tournaments are happening, I figure, hey, it should make a guide for all the players picking up the character, okay? So we're gonna start with field phase. This is the most important phase in the game where you start off playing the game. So I'm just saying this now, Braixen isn't a zoner or a rushdown. She's more like in the middle. She's similar to like a Shoto. So she kind of plays similar to like your Ken and Ryu from other games, but she plays more defensively and can play offensively when she can. But yeah, she's just not a straight up shoulder. Like if you're just spamming projectiles over and over, yeah, you're not doing it right. She can do it against certain matchups, but not against the whole cast. So no. But let's start with her basic moves in field phase. So, side Y, she shoots 5 projectiles and she walks to the side while she's throwing it out. This is one of her best moves to use in field phase because it keeps her moving while using an attack. And there's not many attacks in the game where you get to move while attacking in field phase. So this move is really good to put out pressure and to dodge projectiles in the process. Neutral Y shoots out 3 embers instead of the 5 from side Y, but you don't move, you're just stuck in place. So for example, let's see if the card wants to go for our Aura Speeder. Projectile. You get punished for that. Okay. Compared to side Y, where you're moving, you get to dodge it. All throwing projectiles out at the same time, which is why side Y is a really good move that you'll be using a lot in field phase. It is vulnerable to jumping attacks, so be careful if they're getting too close. Yeah, this is one of her best moves in the game in field phase, easily. Now we're going to talk about her forward Y, her Boomerang. So this is another one of her good moves in field phase. Honestly, most of her moves in field phase are really good. This deletes projectiles. It's really fast as well. It's really fast. It's a multi-hit move as well. It's a multi-hit attack. So it could potentially stuff counterattacks as well and cause a phase shift. So let me show you for an example. Like that. So it's really good for stuff on CAs. And it's good against zoners as well. Because it pulls you, or it pulls them towards you. On hit or on block. And it's safe. It's safe on block. So you're gonna be using this a lot to catch them using a projectile or against zoners overall. But it's a really good anti-zoning tool, or just a knowledge check tool after using sort of moves like neutral Y or side Y into Boomerang, which is a good frame trap. Yes, it's a really good frame trap. Okay, now it's going to cover back Y. So back Y is a bit weird. It's like a golf swing that has a different arc depending on how you charge it. So the longer you charge, the farther it will go and higher it will go. This is a pretty good move to use from a distance if you don't want to get your projectile deleted by your opponent's projectile. So for instance, this Lucario can use Aura Spear to beat out our Sidewise. Okay, so what you could do, perpetrate like that, or do it primitively and then block their projectile. So it's pretty good to catch them primitively, and it's also really good on block. It has a lot of hit stun and block stun. So you can probably go for another string of attacks from a distance if they're blocking or getting hit. Yeah, it's pretty good from a distance as well. It costs a lot of shoot HP. A lot of shoot HP. Yeah, already close to being red from 3. So it's really good on block. It's good on hit. It's good to route from a distance once in a while. And it's also good to catch jumps as well. So if you want to go for like a jump attack on you, you can catch him with this, and then you can just take your turn after that. You can go for a mix-up or go for a setup. Something like that, or go for a side Y. Okay. Okay, that's her standard moves, so it's going to cover her Pokemon moves. So we're going to talk about her side beams. So they function similar to Neutral Y and Side Y in a way. Neutral A, her side beam, shoots out a single projectile that causes a phase shift on hit. It's a good snipe. You can also go left and right, and you do a roll before shooting a side beam. They both come out at the same time. They both come out at the same time, so there's no difference between it's just you rolling to the left or right. So there's really no much difference. So preferably, you're gonna be using the side beam over the standing side beam. And what's good about the side beam is that it can dodge projectiles as well. Okay. So you can do that as well, which is good against anyone who's trying to zone you out or just trying to put out pressure while you're getting pressure yourself. Another thing you can do, if you didn't know, you can cancel your Sidewise and Neutral Y's into a Pokemon move. So for example, you can cancel your Neutral Y into a side beam, Side Y into side beam. Any direction works too. So left, right, left, left. It depends on the situation. But yeah, this is a really good combination of strings that you'd be seeing a lot of Braixens do from like low level or even to mid and semi-high level as well, is side Y into side beam. This will dodge most of their projectiles from like against any character, depending on the situation, but it's good against most of the projectiles in the game. Okay. You can also delay your side beam so that it comes out a bit later. Okay. So it will act once you're able to freely move. So instead of it coming out instantly when you're using it, it will come out once you're free to move. So what you could do, for example, you can go for a side Y into a delay side beam, and then while it's traveling towards your opponent, you get to do another move while they're blocking this. So like side Y to delay side beam, side Y again. This is really good for the fact is that, like I mentioned before, you can frame trap with side Y into Boomerang. So they might not push a button, they might just sit on block. So they're sitting on block, go for delay side beam and continue to pressure safely. And if they're not gonna block, side Y, Boomerang. And that's the ticket how to mix them up when it comes to using side Y. Fireblast is an okay. It's alright at best. It's good for chip damage and good for stalling. You're gonna use it that much often. You might use it to catch like stronger projectiles that they might use from a distance, but it has a very long startup, and it's pretty slow too. So most of the time they're gonna react to this and just counterattack for meter. So don't throw this out that often unless you know it's going to hit, or for like a preemptive bait more so. Firespin is another good move for Braixen. It's not like sidewise good, but it's good for what it does. It blocks projectiles, it stops them from place from going forward. They can walk around this, of course. You can angle it left and right, but that depends on what you want to do. It's good for frame trapping as well compared to like side Y into Boomerang. It's for example, you go for side Y into Firespin. You can check and repeat. There are ways around this. They can always walk back and walk to the side to avoid the Firespin, and then try to use the side Y their own or their own projectile. So they could do that. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's also good to throw out once you win field phase. Well, dual phase into field phase. So getting a grab, and then you can set up a Firespin, charge Firespin on your wake up, and then go for like an attack after that. So it's good for it's really good for an Oki setup. Now, what makes Braixen so special, I'm gonna explain this as well, is that she can hold A and release A to go into Sunny Day. This will enhance all of her Pokemon attacks. So this includes Firespin, which usually doesn't launch the opponent, but it will launch if it's enhanced. Okay. You can go for like a homing attack after that, or anything. Which you won't be landing it that much. Besides in dual phase, using a lot more in dual compared to field phase. It's not that great to use in field phase, because the thing is that for Sunny Day, once you commit to your Pokemon move, you're no longer in Sunny Day. It's only for that one move, and it's not a permanent state for Braixen unless you're in burst mode. So I wouldn't really waste your Sunny Day attack on Firespin unless you know it's going to confirm into Firespin. Now, Fireblast is the same thing as regular Fireblast. It's a bit faster and it's stronger, so it comes out a bit faster and it's a bit stronger than the normal version. And the thing is that compared to the normal version, they can beat out Fireblast before it even comes out. So like this, for example. There's two states when it comes to Fireblast. So there's the small ball right there, which is pretty weak, and if they destroy it, it won't transform into the Fireblast. Okay, but if you wait long enough, it will go towards the opponent's projectile. Now for Sunny Day, for example, it will automatically go into the Fireblast state no matter what happens. So yeah, it will always go into that. Like I should get it. Yeah, you get the picture. Yeah, it will always go to it. So keep that in mind. Side beam doesn't get that much change besides strength. So you shoot out 2 projectiles instead of 1. Function the same as the regular side beam, except that it's stronger. So against Aura Spear you will lose, for example. But for enhance, it will beat it out. So having Sunny Day gives you the option that your opponent has to respect your projectile, that you could probably use it against their own and win the phase shift, which is very, very important in this game. Winning phases is very, very important. Her homing attack is not that good. You can't really do any cheeky tech when it comes to the homing attack whatsoever. It's just 1, 2, 3, so it's nothing like great about it. It's slow too. It's one of the slowest homings, second slowest in the game. A single hit homing attack, so it's prone to get beat out by certain counterattacks, and it will lose against other homing attacks if they end up trying to homing towards you. So don't do it too often, unless you want to put your opponent to the wall, or you're sure it's going to hit. Then it's pretty good to do. You can just go for like a homing 1 and then go for a mix-up, or homing 2 for mix-up. It's not too great, but it's something you can do. Now, her CA, we'll go over that in dual phase. Another thing she can do is that, you know, that Braixen's can be really, really good when it comes to her supports. She charges her support a lot faster compared to the rest of the cast. So by using an attack, your support gauge will fill up. By landing an attack, it fills up as well. So landing an attack, using an attack, will fill up the gauge quite a bit while you're active. Also, landing a grab gives you some support gauge as well. And more once you go into Sunny Day. So every grab, you will automatically be in Sunny Day. So that's essentially like 2 fills of, like 2 boosts for your support gauge. 1 for the grab, 1 for the Sunny Day. Okay. Both phases too. Okay. And you can also go into Sunny Day by just manually holding A and then letting it go, which will charge the support. And you can also, for field phase only, you can go for a shortcut Sunny Day by inputting Fireblast and inputting B. So back A, B. Put you to Sunny Day automatically after the Fireblast. So that's what you can do. Now, what makes her really tick? Her game plan, or her mechanic, is support canceling. So she's able to cancel multiple of her attacks on whiff or on hit or whatever. Just using an attack, she can cancel it into a support call. So for Farfetch, for example, you can cancel neutral Y into Farfetch, or you can cancel side Y into Farfetch, or any support you want. You can even cancel your homing 2 into a support call. And this is a really, really good thing for Braixen. This is a really, really good thing for Braixen. This makes her really good in this game. Consider the fact you can cancel your best tools into a support call that can be anything. So it can be like a support call into Farfetch, Emolga, Dragon Knight, Yveltal, etc. The choice is yours. You can do a lot of shenanigans when it comes to this tech. This also applies in dual phase too, but it depends on what move, and I'll go over that soon. But it's really, really good. On hit, you can get a better knockdown. So compared to like going side Y to side B, which is also phase shift, you can go for like side Y into Farfetch, for example, and then get a knockdown. You then get a Sunny Day, and then your then it's your turn. That's a lot better compared to just going for a side beam. You get to mix up the opponent Omega, and if you get the right mix, and that's even more reward for you. So yeah, you can do that. That's a lot better reward than just going for her standard moves. Okay. Yeah, she's more like a hit and run character in Field Phase. And she's really good at doing that too. So, more of the story is you want to use Boomerang against zoners, or catching their inputs by using sideways to Boomerang, or using delay side beam or side beam to dodge projectiles from zoners as well. And using back wide to hit certain opponents. This is pretty good to use against tall opponents too, because from this arc it will hit tall characters like Mewtwo, Machamp, Sceptile, etc. So this is really good to throw out against those characters, which are typically rush down characters or setup characters that you want to use against anyway. So that's really good for Braixen. Now on to dual phase. This was where it gets a bit tricky. Well, she's kind of like a standard character, but like when it comes to supports, she can be very technical. Now the player can be a bit difficult as well. So we're going to cover her standard moves first. So 5XX is a 2-hit attack. You can just go for 5X or commit to it. Does really good damage for 3 PSP. Yeah, 3 PSP for 5X. It's good on block as well. Good pushback. Good distance as well, good range. So you can throw it up every once in a while. It's pretty good to throw whenever you're plus. 2X is one of her good poke options for mid-range. It reaches really far, and it's very active as well. Usually at point blank it is punishable, so they can go for a grab. But from a distance, it's not punishable. They can't punish whatsoever. They can't do anything about that. Usually they can go for 2Y into like a bone rush to punish that as well. But again, doing it from this distance when it lands on block, it is safe. Could be pretty far though, yeah, could be really far to do it. So yeah, that's pretty good. 8X is your go-to, one of your grab crush in the game. If you don't know what a grab crush is, it is an attack that will go through a grab 100%, and you won't, you take it and you will just go through it completely. So let me show you an example. Let me show you 8X first. Yeah, 8X. You're high up too, so like you jump towards the opponent, you can commit to like a flame charge, or you can commit to an air dash forward, or just go for raw 8X. Okay. So a grab crush, let me explain. So let's say Lucario knocks me down real quick with a 2X, and he grabs. Okay. I'm gonna try to attack with 5X, and I'll show you what happened. Okay, you notice how I stumbled a bit right there? I'm gonna show it again. Oh, whoops. Oh, I'm messing up. Okay, there we go. Yeah, you notice that stumble right there? How I just stumble? So I did take the grab, but I didn't punish him for it. So at this state, we're at advantage, but we didn't really punish him at all for using the grab. Okay. That's from using 5x. If I use 8x, it will go through the attack no matter what. Now you can grab crush completely with 5x depending on how late they grab, but that's not really relevant right now. The important thing is that 8x is for grab crush to go to. And it's pretty good too. It's a pretty good grab crush. You can go for a lot more shenanigans when it comes to like flame charge cancels, which I'm not gonna go for this video because that's a lot more technical and this is like a beginner's guide, but yeah, that's another thing you can do. 2Y is another one of your grab crutches in the game. It's a safer grab crutch depending on if they go for like a CA. You can go for like 2Y into a side beam. So it's a really good poke too overall. It's a really good poke. It's a fast poke. It's one of the fastest pokes in the game. Decent range. Good recovery as well. So you can use this as like a tech throw if you want. Or like, you know, 2Y into grab. And also 2Y is usually your punish option to do if they're punchable from like frame 12. Go for like a grab or 2Y to an attack. Forward Y, just like back Y in field phase, it's a golf swing, but you will only get like a small ember that does low damage. It's good to anti-air from a distance. You can also charge it. You know, go higher up, it will go full screen compared to just letting it go. So that's a pretty good anti-zoning tool as well. Carries against like Gardevoir, Chandelure. It's really good against Chandelure, for example. And carries like Suicune. 8Y is your anti-air. It's a decent anti-air. It does give you iframes against airborne attacks, and it will knock them down to 1 hit, which you can do a setup with Firespin. Okay, which is what you're going to do most of the time. Whenever you're going for 8Y, you go for a It's the best OK option for Braixen, easily. It's one of her better ones. Like if there's no reason else to go for Firespin OK ever. It's free chip, free pressure, and it's still your turn. Just like in field phase, she got her Boomerang, so her forward Y function the same way. Deletes projectiles, good for 7 CAs as well. But you are a lot more vulnerable to get jump in from attacks since you're in dual phase compared to field phase. Jump ins are a lot stronger in dual phase compared to field phase, so keep that in mind. So using all of this, you can get jump in. Okay. But again, it's good against counterattacks. Stuff out counterattacks. It's good against projectiles. It's good from a distance as well. It has a lot of reach. You can also combo into it if it's far enough and if it cripples the opponent. So keep your spacing on par. It's really good for Braixen overall. Now we're going to mention oh yeah, I forgot her got 4x too. Yeah, her 4x. Okay. So 4x is one of her defensive options she can do. She launch back and then she will go forward and go for a single attack. Doesn't do that much damage, but what makes it so good is that you get iframes at the start of the move, so you can use this against okay options. It's good to throw just once in a while. You do that too, or if you do an attack as well. Like that. And I'm gonna show you. Not just grabs, it works for everything. Yeah. This is really good to use against single moves, like single attacks. Like if it's a multi-hit, it might be hard for you to escape it and not get punished for it. But the downside is that this move is very punishable. It is very punishable. It's like minus 16. Yeah, it's minus 16. So if you use this on block, you're going to eat a lot of damage. They can go for like their typical 2Y. Yeah, you can eat a lot of damage for using 2Y. Yeah. Just for going for that. So don't do it too much. But don't do it predictably because they can just punish it. Most people won't know about it from low to mid level, but it's pretty good. Yeah. You eat a lot of damage, yeah. Now let's explain Braixen's special moves again. So just like Firespin, it's a lot better in dual phase because they can't just move around us. They can only go left and right, so they can't move around us. They have to either just respect it or jump over it. That's their only option against this, or wait for it to end. So Firespin is a lot stronger in this phase compared to field phase. So you can use this every once in a while. So like a side beam into a Firespin is pretty good for the pushback. Fireblast work the same way. They can't walk around us as easily, and they can't jump us as well. But again, it's really slow, so it'll give him a free counterattack dash cancel to give him free meter, free synergy. So only go for it, like I said, preemptively if you then do want to push a button from full screen. Or for like a chip damage setup for like Firespin to, well, Firespin and Fireblast, yeah. That could work out for a lot of chip. Her 2A, down A, is her light screen. This is one of her best moves in dual phase. It functions as a pressure tool, a get off me tool, an anti-soldering tool. It functions a lot. It's your go-to for like everything. This move typically is going to be used and can be used in every matchup, and it's not bad to use. It's always a good option to absorb this out like anywhere. Now it doesn't have any range, so you're going to be using this a lot whenever you're close to the opponent. Okay. Like if they're -4 or -8, you can just do this for free. And you won't get punished for it. Only 2 characters can punish this, that's Lucario and Shadow Mewtwo, but everyone knows they can't punish this. Out on block. Good pushback as well. And it's a I frame 11, so it's one of the best moves in the game. And it's relatively safe on block. Good pushback. It functions as an anti-zoning tool as well. It deletes the projectile if it hits the mirror or the screen. If it hits before it, you can always absorb it and get free synergy. So this is like, it's a really good move. It's a really good move. And it does function as a counterattack, like you see right here. It functions as a counterattack. So if your opponent is trying to attack you while you're using this move up close. So let me show you. They'll get crit. What happens is that normally if you just land this with, like in general, it will not come back and that's it. The reward isn't that great when it comes to damage, but it pushes them back, which you can just go for like a side beam. Okay. Like a meaty side beam like that, or go for a free sunny day. Now on crit, you'll get a full combo. You know, whatever combo you want. Yeah. So this is always a good option to throw out anywhere, whenever. If you're getting pressured, light screen. If you're pressuring them, you want to get them off of you, or you want to save pressure tool, use light screen. It's one of your safest options to do at any point in the match and duel phase. It's that good. Okay. It's safe against counterattack. So normally if you use an attack against a counterattack, you will get crit. So let me show you against Lucario CA. I did an attack. I got crit for it. And he can just launch me right there after that. That's a free combo for him. Compared to using light screen, I'm still standing. That's why this move is really good. It's good against counterattack. It's a safe pressure tool. It's a good get off me tool. It's a good anti tool. It's a good everything tool, pretty much. And there's no reason else to use the move, honestly. Just if you want to go for a safe option, go for light screen. Or any other move you want to be high committable, like 8x or 5x or 2x. Now I'm going to talk about support cancels in duel phase. Just like in fuel phase, you can cancel certain attacks into a support call, and can be devastating in duel phase. So you can cancel your 5x into a support call, your 5xx into a support call, your 2y into a support call, your 5y into a support call, and all the follow-ups too. So 5y, 5yy, and 5yy. You cancel all of that into a support call. Now what makes it so good is that normally you can use this, like normally, let's say use 2x, which is usually punishable on block. You can go for 2x, call like Imago or Farfetch. Now as you can see, instead of being punishable, it's your turn still. That's really good for Braixen, and she can do that a lot often since she gets her supports a lot quicker compared to the rest of the cast. So you can do like a lot of stuff for Braixen. You can do a lot of things for Braixen. Or you can also cancel your 4x into a support call. Forgot to mention that. So this is a good defensive tool to use, or a wake up option to use, and you'll be plus for it. You'll be plus for doing this. Usually be minus 16, you become plus in your turn. That's how support cancel can change up our whole game plan. It can change up our whole kit in this game. It makes it really strong on doing that as well. What else? Now let's see. On hit is pretty good. On hit, the same thing. It's as good. So instead of like 2x just knocking down the opponent, or 5x just knocking the opponent up for a bit, you can get a full combo. Yeah, you can get a full combo. get all time in order to get anything that you want. Yeah, it's very, very strong. It's very, very strong. There's difference between the support and what attack you're using, so that's when it gets really complicated, but I'm just gonna say that support canceling for Braixen is one of your go-to things that makes Braixen really, really good in this game. Support canceling and getting the supports ASAP during the match. Okay. Her counterattack is really good. It covers a pretty good distance as well. Yeah, range is pretty good. It can sometimes anti-air the opponent if they're inputting an attack, but the downside is that it is a mid-low, so that if they react to this, they can just jump it. It's still good. It's still a really good counterattack compared to the rest of the cast. There are a lot of like iffy counterattacks in the game, but Braixen, for example, is pretty good. And her dashes are really good as well. The speed is pretty good. Recovery is good. Her movement overall in the game is average or slightly above average. Both phases as well. Her field phase walk speed is really, really good. Her dual phase walk speed is like average. It's pretty good. And not many characters in the game really have like an average size speed like Empoleon or Blastoise, where their walk speed is really, really bad. Braixen can just walk around and, you know, play around neutral a bit. Now her other special move I forgot to mention is her flamethrower. This is your high damaging anti-air. It has a really good arc from a distance. So they jump distance, taking a lot of damage to get jumped by this. Yeah. It does a lot more damage if you're enhanced, and it has more reach. So it's a good anti-air tool from a distance. It's good overall. And I've got to mention enhance light screen. So same frame data, it's still the fastest move to throw out. The difference is that the range is increased. So instead of being up close, you can do it from right here. It does more damage. And on a crit, you can get more damage because they're stunned even longer. So compared to, let me see, crits. Yeah, always crit. I'm gonna put that down. From regular light screen, you can't get JX, but for enhance, for example, you can. So you can get a lot more damage if you land a crit with enhanced light screen, but that's just an example. Other than that, there's not too much difference between the two. It's good to throw out anywhere, whenever. Okay, that covers Braixen specials and her normal attacks. Oh, her jump attacks. I forgot to mention her jump attacks. So she doesn't have like a really good jump in. She has her J8Y, which is pretty good if you know the distance when it's gonna land on block or on hit. It does fall up into a combo on hit. Or does fall into a combo. And on block, it's also plus. So after this, if you use this at all, if it's not against a counterattack, it's your turn. Like, you can do a light screen after that if you want to. Or go for follow-up if you see it connects. So you can do that. Her JY is one of her good tools to throw out every once in a while. It has pretty good recovery. It's not easily spammable, but it's pretty good. You can keep them in check. It's pretty good to keep them in check overall. You know, just to throw this out every once in a while. It's like a wall. It's like a wall that they can't get around, but it's still a free meter for them. And Braixen doesn't have the strongest projectile, so this can lose to projectiles like Aura Spear or even Blades Against projectiles, which doesn't go too far, but still you can keep that in mind. She can also air dash, like I mentioned before, air dash back, air dash forward, and you can commit to any of the same airborne attack that I mentioned before. You can commit to jump Y after the air dash, or you commit to air dash 8Y, or you commit to flame charge too while you're airborne. Flame charge is very punchable on block unless you space it out correctly, but it's still an iffy move to throw out unless it's enhanced. So enhance flame charge is a lot better because of the pushback. It does a good amount of chip damage, a good amount of shield damage, especially if you're against the corner. So usually this is plus, that is plus. It's relatively safe against counterattack too, depending on what the counterattack is. So it's at a point you can go for that. Her grabs are alright. Not damage wise, it's not high, but for resources wise, it is really good. For example, she gets a lot. Because what you can do, you can hold A while in the cutscene of a grab, and you can just let go to get a free sunny day. And another sunny day after that too. So what you could do, because you automatically get into sunny day while you're grabbing, is part of the grab animation, and then you can hold A and release A during the cutscene and end up getting 2 sunny days. And just look at how Farfetch is almost like it's empty for Farfetch. I get a grab. Okay, grab lands, sunny day, release sunny day, almost half. Almost half. Yeah, she can get her support a lot, like really fast. Okay. So it's not a bad option to throw out, and again, her sunny day, if she gets a sunny day twice in a row, she will get an attack buff for a few seconds, and it does stack too, so you can just keep on going for this, but it won't be that easy to get out every once in a while you're in a battle. You might get punished for it potentially, but yeah, it's something you can do. Now let's talk about her burst mode and her burst attack. So her burst mode is one of the best burst mode. She's a 150cc character, so she gets her burst pretty quickly, really quick. What makes it so good is that, as you can notice, she is always in sunny day. She is always in sunny day. Okay. 100% sunny day. This can cause you to do certain combinations or certain combos that only work in this mode, or certain pressure strings. So I didn't mention that delay side beam. I'm mention real quick. Delay side beam it's iffy in dual phase. It's alright for an Oki setup if you're in front of their face and they're knocked down. And it's good for, like, you know, 1, 2, and 2 like this, and then you're plus now if they're still blocking. But compared to in burst mode, it shoots out 2 side beams, and it goes even further. Nearly full. It covers so much coverage. It covers so much coverage, and it's easy to disassemble too. This can lead to like a lot of setups, like delay side beam into flame charge, which does a lot of chip damage, a lot of pressure. Another one. And now it shoots red. It's crazy. You can also go into 8x into flame charge, which functions a lot. That's what I mentioned before. So this, you block this. You gotta respect that. That's a lot of safe pressure options you can do at that point, and it's just really good. Braixen in burst mode is just really good. They can avoid the flame charge, but after that, if they block the flame charge, it's hard to get out the pressure after that point. Yeah, she can easily do this. You can also cancel your JY, your jump Y into a flame charge or into an air dash. You then throw another JY if you want to, or a J8Y. So for example like this, you can do like jump back Y, air dash forward, and then now your plus, you can do that too. I know I said it's like a beginner's guide and I mentioned like a lot of things right now, but there's a lot more. I'm gonna say this now, there's a lot more you can do when it comes to Braixen. It's just like the beginner's knowledge on how the character's played. I can go like in full depth, which I might do for another video if y'all want to see it, depending on like what supports are good, when to use the support canceling, and support combos as well. But yeah, everything is enhanced, so you can go crazy if you want to. Her burst attack is one of the weakest burst attacks in the game, but it's the best with punishing burst attack in the game as well. Cause how it works in here. Let me show you right here. It goes really far. It goes really far. It goes nearly like really far in field phase. This is just field phase. So it's not like full screen in field phase, but like it's close enough to the where it's like it's really important. Like you're not gonna use it from like this distance at all because you're way too far to like do any impacts to them whatsoever. But from this distance, if they do anything while they're like standing still, you can punch for it. Which is huge. It's huge. And what it does as well, you automatically charge your support 100% due to a magnet burst attack. As you can see, I get Fireblast immediately after the burst attack, so that's another thing that's really good for the burst attack. So resource wise and potential wise, it is strong. Damage wise, it's not. In dual phase, it works the same way. It's not full screen. It's not full screen. It would be plus if it was, but it reaches pretty far still in dual phase. Yeah, this is a good option to do in both phases if you know it's going to go into push Pokken, or just for free chip damage as well. So yeah, that pretty much covers Braixen as a whole, as a character. I'm gonna make another video about explaining Braixen's tech if you want to see any more. Let me know if you want to see in the comments below. If you want to see more Braixen tech, more combos, or a Sceptile guide or whatever, let me know down in the comments, alright? And until next time, y'all take care. You have a safe one. Stay safe.